Hi, good afternoon again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining SCB10X Open House in Metaverse. And in this session, I have with me Seb Borget, the CEO and co-founder of the Sandbox, NFT Gaming and Metaverse. So good afternoon, Seb. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you, Ty. I'm so energized after what I've just saw. So, wow.
Yeah, we just chose Seb.
Production.
Yeah, our SCB10X headquarter in the Sandbox, and I'm quite happy with that. Seb, wanna start by asking you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell us about your journey of starting the Sandbox.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Sebastien Borget. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Sandbox. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years now, together with my business partner, Arthur Madrid. We co-founded 3 companies and spent the last 10 years into gaming and the last 4 years into blockchain gaming, building the Sandbox, which is this decentralized gaming virtual world where anyone can make 3D assets and game experiences and monetize them through the use of blockchain technology, creating and selling free assets or experiences. We brought more than 200 brands and IPs into the metaverse, and we're so proud to have such a great, diverse community of builders, including one we're talking to today, right? And the origin of Sandbox, the idea was like in 2012, we wanted to use a smartphone to enable anyone to become a creator, just making games by the touch of their finger. So anyone could play with a periodic table of elements and progressively with many more game-related like characters, platforms, enemies, and share those creations into an online gallery. It was a huge success with more than 40 million downloads by the time, 70 million player-made creations shared. But ultimately, we run into some like retention issues. Like even the most talented users, after 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, they wouldn't stay and keep creating on the platform. We found that social recognition, social status wasn't enough for them to stay engaged. We were looking at ways to share the revenue from the content they generated on the platform, but by then on mobile and PC was not possible. In 2017, we found about CryptoKitties. That was the very first blockchain game. People could trade virtual cats and breed them. And what really stuck us there was the technology behind, not really the game. The fact that through an NFT, any digital asset could actually be sold on the marketplace outside of a game is something very powerful. And we found that combining the NFT with user-generated content would probably be the solution to our retention issue on the Sandbox. So we started working from scratch on a new version, this time 3D multiplayer, multi-platform, and combining NFTs and token from the beginning to enable a whole digital economy behind for creators to make content and monetize it. And we worked for 4 years building the Vox Edit, the 3D editor, the marketplace, the map, the no-code game maker, and even launching last December the first alpha season and this month the second alpha season to bring to life this opportunity, this metaverse where anyone can own their identity, their assets, their token, and play with them.
All right. Yeah. So, Seb, coming from traditional gaming, what do you think is the benefit from having that experience, and how is it different when you build, for this type of a blockchain metaverse compared to the traditional gaming?
Indeed, like spent the last 10 years into gaming, and what we saw is like all games are actually closed economic environments. You as a user, you spend real money to make purchase, whether you buy the full game as a premium box or in free to play, you buy in-app content, virtual currency, in-game items, etc. But that content actually isn't really yours because you cannot transfer it to another user. You cannot sell it if you want to. You cannot use it anywhere outside of the game or the platform. So if one day that game ceases to exist, and unfortunately, we've seen that before. We've seen games shut down after a few months, after a few years. All the time you spent, all the money you spent into the product is actually lost. You're not able to recover it, to remonetize it, etc. So the main difference between that NFTs bring is this notion of true ownership. The fact that in a permissionless manner, so you do not need to ask the developer, you can own your content, transfer it, use it anywhere else if you want to. In the metaverse, virtual worlds have existed for more than 25 years. We've seen that before with Second Life, Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite, even Meta now. But still, the idea is the same. They are closed environments where you cannot take your avatar outside. You cannot move from one virtual world to another. Your identity, your content is locked, and the revenue is constrained by what the platform allows you to do. The open metaverse, on the contrary, is this idea of a myriad of virtual worlds where users, through an avatar, that 3D representation of themselves, can actually own and transfer their assets across those worlds the way they want.
Got it. When do you think that we can start seeing that? Because right now, each metaverse, right, the sandbox, and Decentraland, the asset cannot interoperate yet. When are we going to see this happening?
So interoperability is one of the benefits of using blockchain technology into game and into any decentralized application. And we're already at Sandbox working to enable interoperability. It requires both technical and content production, but if you enter Sandbox right now, and actually you should, because you can create your avatar and you can start playing and earning tokens and NFTs, you can see a lot of NFTs that were not made in Sandbox, but that come from the overall community, many artists, NFT collection, etc. That's the first thing you see among all the content, such as in my background with IPs and user-generated content. So this is this mix of culture, and we're going one step beyond, like not just displaying and allowing you to play and interacting through game mechanics, quests, etc. with NFT, but also turning 2D images, because most NFT collection are actually 2D characters, collection of 10,000, more or less, procedurally generated, unique characters but it's great, but they are just images. You cannot do anything with them. We are using interoperability and our technology to transform them into 3D playable character that then can jump, can run, can fight, can dance, can express themselves, can do many other actions, more than 70 animation, and we keep adding more. So that suddenly they have access into Sandbox to a place where they can interact with each other. All the holders of those NFT can interact with each other, can start playing, can start building, can use a game maker and creation tool to expand the universe, become the virtual neighbor of the land, the community land, and add more stories, more adventure, more content around it to expand it. So it's the creation of an IP in a decentralized manner. Like there's a community coming in with characters, and we're the place, we're the world, the environment where all the lore, all the content surrounding it is being developed. So there's a win-win benefit for both the community and ourselves, thanks to interoperability.
I see. How do you build a community of creators to come on board the Sandbox? Like all these artists, how do you incentivize them or attract them to come to build in the Sandbox? Right now, what do you have as plan?
We see like Web3 and the Metaverse should be community-driven and user-centric. It's for us the most important thing that users who participate and engage into creating content or spending time or animating and making the Metaverse alive actually take that value back for them and earn a majority, if not 100% of the revenues it generates, which was not the case with the centralized world before. Like the platform takes 30%, sometimes 50%, sometimes even more, and very few is remaining for the creator and contributors. And we've been focusing right from the beginning on like supporting the creator. So we have the creator fund which supports 3D artists. We have the Game Maker Fund, which supports individual and teams, professional and non-professional, who want to make games, experience any kind of content using Sandbox and publish it on their land. We have the Metaverse Accelerator Program, which is supporting entrepreneur as well to receive it's like a launchpad program, so they can receive like an investment from us, mentoring, and more. And we have just announced this week given a grant of $25 million to the World of Women Foundation, which is a community around a collection of 10,000 unique procedurally generated women, very diverse, very inclusive. And we'll give them this grant over 5 years so they can make more opportunity for women to enter blockchain, Web3, NFT, and Metaverse. Because we all know like the tech space is unfortunately not enough represented by women or diversity. So we will manage the fund and support the artist, the project behind. We organize game jams, which are like some sort of hackathon, like game creation hackathons on a time limited banners, and we give spend prize for the best top 10 creator. We organize Vox Edit contest as well. So we try to support and engage creativity in any way. So then you can find new skills. You can find your next vocation. You can maybe make your job to become an architect, a builder, a creator in the metaverse.
Yeah, actually, wanted to say that our architect, our metaverse architect, and also the graphic designers, the majority that work in SCV10X headquarters actually are women. So that might be a surprise for you.
Well, I'm not surprised. Women are very talented, but I'm proud that it is the case. I'm looking forward to go to Thailand and meet more of the local community, because it seems we have like very talented, very creative people there. And I wish like we're going to have Sandbox represented in Thailand very soon.
Yeah, no, that would be wonderful. Yeah, let's do that. Curious too, like how do you build a community? I think the Sandbox is very good at building the community across like all over the world. And you're right, in Thailand too, there's so many fans of the Sandbox, and people are quite active, posting their creation, their avatar and things like that. You guys have like 900,000 followers on Twitter and 100,000 people on Telegram. So yeah, how did you build the community? It's very good. Like I'm sure that there are a lot of people who now Metaverse and they also want to build a community too. So any advice you have for them?
I would say my main advice, if you're looking to enter the Web3 space or build a community, is to really be driven by the right motivation. You're not doing it just for the sake of revenue or selling NFT. You need to think like, how do I bring value first to the users, to the community I'm building, or to people who will acquire the NFT from us. The way we've done that at Sandbox actually is we didn't launch the NFT first or the token first. We actually launched the community. We brought the creator community around the product that we developed. We engaged them by showing the possibility and organizing contests. And after, we introduced later on the land, we introduced the sand and so on. So to build a long-lasting community, you need to get users into it for the right reasons. If they are only here for like financial, speculative reasons, I believe it's not a strong, solid glue that will make the community really thrive and benefit together. Because then the next time there is another financial incentive that is higher, they will just jump on. So you need to make sure like people are here for the vision, they are here motivated to contribute and be part of something bigger. Of course, the financial incentive is important. That's what I've said from the beginning, but it's not the number one reason.
Got it. Yeah, so you talk about, the support financially and the grant program and development program, things like that for the creators. How about in terms of tooling? How do you see the support that the Sandbox team is providing for the builders? Because I think in general, like, this space is so new, right? And now people come in droves, and I think a lot more will come to build on the Sandbox and other metaverse. So how do you see the tooling right now in Metaverse, and especially for the sandbox, and what can you do to even enhance that?
I think we are still very early on in the structuring of the platform, and the success of Sandbox platform is going to come from the success of its ecosystem. So I'm putting a lot of effort this year to grow an ecosystem of builders. There's more than 55 studios already who started just 6 months ago. There were maybe 1-2 people. Today there are 10, 20. And they are building for IPs, they are building for brands. Some of the top brands in the world are actually working with those new studios specialized in Sandbox. They're building for the landowners. And our role is to start providing more and more resources to support them, more and more tutorials and workshops to educate them on like how to do something great, something creative, something original, a new form of entertainment in the metaverse. And yes, I think like we can do much better. We're just getting starting putting in place those programs. And it's one phase of growth of the company. Like Sandbox has been growing really fast. So we're adapting to that growth now and making sure like anyone deciding to enter Sandbox can get the proper amount of support so they can build successfully and help and launch successfully their business as well.
No, that's great. Yeah, looking forward to seeing all those educations and programs to support the building. How about in terms of partnership? Yeah, you guys are really good at onboarding partners and collaborators and brands. Like, how do you go about doing that? Like, do the brands approach you, or do you approach the brand? How do you pick, who you want to onboard?
We've been pretty broad in our approach to partnership because we feel like anyone could get value for them, for their community by working with Sandbox. So a collaboration, a partnership with Sandbox, bringing your NFT to life with interoperability, making Sandbox your headquarters or the place where your community will be creative, adding value for Sandbox community member as well is important. So there's not a defined set of like who can or cannot be a partnership. I always try to be creative in how we can partner. And I believe like it's been beneficial so far to help make the metaverse an opportunity that's accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world. Like we have partnered both in Korea, in Japan, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, in Thailand, in US, in Canada, in Europe. So that's really exciting as well. And we really encourage people to work and focus on quality as well. So we're going to see more and more quality in how those partnerships are announced, how people can see what the partnership means or the opportunities it enables behind. Like that for us, it's always very important to showcase concretely what does that mean? What do I do? What can I do right now as a user from this?
So can you talk about the milestone of Sandbox this year and next year a bit? Like when can we expect that the public can go in, and start looking at all these build? Like when can the Sandbox allow the public to come inside and start visit, different places? Like let's say visit SCB10X headquarters and start going around looking at things. And when do you expect that we can start seeing a live concert? Or when can we host some events in the Sandbox?
So it's happening progressively. This year, we've already launching our second alpha season. So anyone can access and play more than 35 experiences, 3 of them featuring IPs and brands like Snoop Dogg, Blondish, and South China Morning Post for its cultural location on the Hong Kong Ferry Pier Central. There's 4 user-made creations. There's a lot of and even more content from the community. The goal is to release 6 seasons in total this year, and then as we've been inspiring the community with the possibilities of play to earn, season, NFT gating, avatars, interoperability, we will open users to mint and sell directly on the marketplace, and publish their own experience, if not their own seasons, directly on their land. I think that should, at that moment of time, really demonstrate that the metaverse is open at all time and all the great possibilities. As an avatar, you get to choose and pick from which activity you can engage with, whether it's like visiting an art gallery, a museum, learning at a virtual school, socializing with others, playing games, attending a dance club, and many other options. The first virtual concerts are on track to launching this year. With Snoop Dogg, will be probably the first artist to perform at his virtual mansion. So really excited about that.
Looking forward.
Yes.
Yeah. No, please go ahead.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious because, like, it sounds very exciting, and in the future there can be so many events and activities that happen in the sandbox. So how will that happen? Like, let's say if there are more and more people come and buy land, right? Will it be finite land? And what will happen after all the land are sold? Will there be like another, issue of more land in the futures? But maybe have like a different type of benefit or things like that. Yeah, I'm kind of curious whether like the land is going to be finite.
The land is finite. There are 166, 164 lands in total, and that's it. There will be never any more. Like, we sold about 70% of the map to date. We plan to keep doing like land sales until end of 2022, middle of 2023. We have more than 20,000 unique landowners. And what happens once everything we keep 15% of the map in reserve to feature project, feature creators, feature brands, even after we've sold everything out. What happens then is like people will just get land on the secondary market, buying directly user to user if they want to acquire, or they work with the Game Maker Fund and our various initiatives. So we promote their experience on one of Sandbox reserve land.
Well, actually, I have a lot more questions, but the time's up. Anything else you want to say to the audience before we leave?
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I really invite you to come and try the Sandbox, create your avatar, and that's all you need to start entering and playing the current alpha season, which is available on PC and Mac. You'll have 35 experience to try out. And if you complete all the quests, accumulate experience, you can earn up to 1,000 SAM tokens. So, yep, come and get a feeling, join the community.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much, Seb. Please come back with us again in the next event, yeah?
Will do. Thank you. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.